Welcome back. In this Swift iOS tutorial, we're going to go over how to create gestures to swipe left and to swipe right. Let's go over how we set up the storyboard. The first thing we did is we set up our main view. Now, let's go over a few notes. For the main view controller, make sure that your class is set. Next, make sure that the main view controller is the initial view controller. To do that, we go to the Attributes Inspector, and then make sure the isInitialViewController box is checked. For this example, we are going to add two new view controllers to our canvas. Our new view controllers are here and here. We have gone ahead and added labels to each of the views. We have left, main, and right. Next, we want to create segues to the right and left views. We want segues from the main view controller to the left view controller and from the main view controller to the right view controller. To do that, click on the circle here, and then hold down Control and drag. Then you can choose the type of segue you would like. We already created a segue, so let's go ahead and undo that. Then we want to do the same thing to the left. And it will create your segue. So we have our segues from the main to the right and from the main to the left. Okay, so we've covered this note. The next thing we want to do is to make sure the segues have identifiers. If we click on this segue, and then we go to the Attributes Inspector, underneath the storyboard segue, we have the identifier right. Then we want to do the same thing for this segue, and the identifier is left. Let's go ahead and run this and test it out. Let's swipe right and left. Now, let's go over the code. The first thing we did in the ViewDidLoad is to create the UI swipe gesture recognizers for swipe right and swipe left. For the swipe right, we use UI swipe gesture recognizer. For the target, we're going to use self. For the action, we're going to use the swipe function that we created here. Then we use the swipe right variable that we created here. For the direction, we're going to choose right. Then we're going to use the view controller view with the add gesture recognizer. And inside the round brackets, we add the swipe right variable. So this creates the gesture recognizer for swipe right. And this creates the gesture recognizer for swipe left. And recall, for the selector, we're using the swipe function that we created here. To create the swipe function, for the argument, it will use a gesture of UI swipe gesture recognizer type. Then we're going to use an if statement, and if the gesture direction is right, we are going to print a message that says swipe right, and we are going to perform a segue to the view controller on the right. And notice we are using with identifier, which is the segue identifier here. And we will do the same thing for the left. And for that, we use the else if. If the gesture direction is left, it will print swiped left and perform the segue to the view controller on the left. That's all we have for this tutorial. Join us again next time.